Hello and welcome to the second part of our color correction and color grading video for Premiere Pro. The first step I want us to do for this video is to take out all of the changes that we did in the previous video. We were using a different setup to color grade and color correct our footage. We want to eliminate that by simply left click here, hold and drag, then right click on any section of that selection and move over to remove attributes. The changes we made in our footage were related to lumetri color and they were effects. We did not make any changes to time remapping, to opacity and to motion. So we only made changes to these two. So let us press OK. All of the changes that we made in that video have been eliminated. And then we are going to proceed to take a snapshot of any section of this video. You can choose here and then move over to this function here called export frame. We want to take a screenshot. We just want to turn a section of this video into a photo that we can color grade in Photoshop. Export frame, left click on it. Let me name this grade. I want to color grade this. Change the format to JPEG or PNG, either works. And then direct that image to your desktop. I prefer the desktop because it is easier. And then just press OK. So a screenshot of this image has been sent to our desktop. We are going to open that image in Photoshop. So install Photoshop using the link that we provided alongside the Premiere Pro one. And then let's open Photoshop. So I have Photoshop already installed here. Let me left click on it to open it. Within Photoshop, I will press open and then move over to my desktop. This is my image labeled grade. Double click on it and it will be opened in Photoshop. Now in Photoshop, we are going to apply the same changes that we applied in Premiere Pro, but they will be a little bit different in terms of approach. The first one we're going to apply is this one called curves. Just left click on it and it will be added to the layer here beneath your image. So here is our image and the layer has been added on top of it. For this one, we can solve so many problems by just creating what we call an S curve. Notice this line here. I want us to create an S shape with it. So left click here, drop that, and then left click here and push it up. So we have something that is similar to an S. It looks like an S. And all we have to do with this one is adjust its opacity now. So move over to this option labeled opacity. The opacity is currently set to 100. Left click on it and just drop it. We will do the same process of checking the extreme, checking the minimum. So let me push this one slightly. So we are making this change to adjust light, shadows, highlights, whites and blacks. So let me adjust this, drop it and slightly push it. So up to that point, I think that's okay for this image. So we can turn it off and turn it on, turn it off and turn it on. Let us make other changes such as this option called here hue and saturation. Left click on it. Something to note is that your image is at the bottom and the layers are being added on top of it. For this one that is called saturation, what if I was to come here and left click on this option here on that finger, it looks like a finger, and then click on my green and then come back here and adjust the hue. Notice the changes. Notice the changes. So let's say I decided to also adjust the saturation of those leaves. So let me boost them a little bit. So I've boosted the saturation of those leaves. Without saturation, a lot of saturation. Too green. So let me adjust them up to this point. And then let me left click on that hand and click on my skin and then adjust something like lightness. Let's see what that does. Ooh, makes me black, very black, literally charcoal black. Let me take it back to where it was. If you double click on it again, it will reset. And then let me try adjust saturation. If I notice my skin tone is too red, I can adjust the saturation. So if you click on your skin, most of the time it will select this hue called red. Let me drop that. What about if I decided to change the hue of my skin? Instead of making it red, push it to maroon, maybe here. Let's see. So I'm taking out the reddish element and working with the orangish element. So this could help. That is too orange. Double click on it again to reset it, slightly push it. We can add other changes such as this one called color balance. So on my color balance, how about I grab my midtones? This says that the tones are set to midtones and I push this side. Ooh, too green, too reddish. So let me just adjust for taste, too maroonish, too greenish. Let's say there. So let me also grab this one that says if you move to this side, it becomes too yellow, and this one too blue. So check the slider. The slider has been colored. So let me double click it to reset it. What if I decided to move towards the yellow side? And then let me grab another one. What other change can I add here? Let me add this one called channel mixer. And I can use this green slider to counter redness. Double click on it to reset, push it to that side. And then this blue one can be used to counter that yellow element in my footage. So the final one I want to add is our lookup table. Left click here and locate the lookup table. It will be labeled color lookup. Just click on it and then load a LUT. It says load a 3D LUT. I know we are creating a LUT, but we can also incorporate another LUT to add style. So left click on it. Let me find this one called soft warming. Not very interesting. Let me move to teal orange plus contrast. This one here. Let me adjust its opacity. It is the topmost layer here. Let me adjust its opacity. Let's say I settle on that. So before and after, before and after, before, after. So I have these changes that I've added to my footage. What if I wanted to export all of these changes as a lookup table and then apply it on Premiere Pro and save that specific LUT for use whenever I want to work on footage that has been shot in this area? Now, before we export this lookup table, I want you to do one small change that might cause a problem when you try to export. Move over to your layer, click on the layer, move over to layer here, new, and then background from layer. We want to turn this into a background. That is all you need. You just need to see this turn into a background. So you move over to layer, new, and layer from background. That is it. So let us export all of these changes we've made here as a lookup table. Move over to file, export, color, lookup tables. And then let us name it. I will name it IDS grade. And then the only format you will need here is the cube format. So deselect the other ones and just have the cube format. Press OK. Move over to our desktop. Let me rename it again. IDS grade. So I can decide that this one is going to be our signature color grade. Save. And it has been exported out of the software. Now if you go to your desktop, you'll notice that we have this LUT here that we named IDS grade and it is a cube format. Let us move over to Premiere Pro and add this LUT to our footage. Move over to Premiere Pro and then we can skip the color correction because we did all of that in Photoshop. All we have to do is apply the LUT. How do we apply this LUT? The same way we were applying all of the other LUTs that were provided by Premiere Pro. Move over to Creative, click on Creative, under Look, press, and then select Browse. And this will direct you probably somewhere different from where mine is, but all you have to do is go to the desktop where we placed our LUT. Double click on it and that has been added to our footage without and with. Now to apply it again to all of the clips that we have in this video, you can cut it, left click on it, Ctrl X, select all of your videos and just press Ctrl V to paste it back onto all of the clips here. Now when we meet in our next live, I want you to tell me which one do you think is easier, color grading in Premiere Pro or going over to Photoshop and color grading and then bringing back that LUT here. So I will see you in the next module.